There we go. Hello, everybody. We are live here with Mr. Jonathan Colombini, celebrity hairstylist.
How are ya?
Good. Thanks so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So for those of you who don't know, Jonathan and I went to high school together in little Linden, California, many moons ago.
Many moons ago. I don't want to count, but many.
Yeah. I was just thinking today, do you remember that time when you played my dad in Guys and Dolls?
Oh my God, yes. Or the prank calls or whatever we did. We were bored kids. It was Linden. Like, what else are we going to do?
Go walk to the video store and rent movies.
I know. Or the pharmacy and color our own hair. Remember that time I got like medium brown and I ended up looking like Roy Orbison. It was like jet black. I mean, knowing what I know now, it's like that color is probably like 25 years old. And I was like, you know?
Yeah, everything's all expired there, I'm sure.
Totally. I don't care. It's the Linden Pharmacy.
Oh my goodness. So I'm so excited to see you. It's been forever.
It's been too long.
Yeah, and watching your journey.
Your kids are adorable.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We're trying to find ways, to keep them busy right now. They've got ball pit balls and the trampoline outside right now that they're jumping around.
My sister has a 4- and 6-year-old, and I'm like, and teaching full time, and she's still working and being a wife. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it.
Oh my gosh. How is your sister?
She's great. She's good. I mean, she's in pharmaceutical sales. So she's a pharmaceutical. She's able to work from home, which is great.
Yeah.
But during her conference calls, I think she kind of hides in one of the rooms in the houses and tries to avoid the kids.
Yeah, it's so hard. I can't even imagine being a working, like full-time working parent, trying to homeschool your kids and doing all this at the same time right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So we'll kind of wait to see if anybody has any questions for you. I know I have questions for you about, hair and stuff like that. But before we get into that stuff, my mom can't figure out how to find our live now.
Oh, Mom.
Tell me about how your journey on how you got down to LA and how you've been there for a while now.
Yeah.
Your journey there.
I'm going to my 20th year of doing hair. I know. And I was 19. I was such a baby, like literally right out of high school.
Yeah, because we grabbed our 20-year reunion.
I moved to LA about 10 years ago, and I was living in Sacramento before I moved here, and I was working in a salon there, and co-owning, and so I wanted something different, and I always wanted to be in down south. I always wanted to be in LA, and in fact, when I graduated high school, I wanted to go to San Diego. My mom was like, "You're not mature enough. you need to stay around here for a little bit longer." And then I eventually moved to Sacramento and started my career there, and then moved to Los Angeles. And boy, I mean, talk about the hunger is real. Like, it's completely different ballgame here.
Yeah.
And found an agent and just kind of started like slowly worked my way up. And I mean, I remember my first celebrity I worked with was Kamorley Simmons. Do you remember her?
Yeah.
Baby Fat? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of my first one. And then it just like really snowballed from there. And it was like, once word gets around, it kind of spreads like wildfire here. And then, yeah, that's kind of where I got it. And it just keeps like, it's the industry that like is so evolving and changes constantly. And I'm the kind of person that gets bored really easily. Mm-hmm. But the second I'm like, bored, and then something new comes, and I'm like, okay, there's no time to be bored ever. Yeah. Like I forgot what bored like. Right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure right now it's a little hard to stay as busy. Although I've seen you're doing videos for L'Oreal.
Yeah, so I'm the brand ambassador for L'Oreal Paris, and I just kind of, you just kind of figure it out. As an artist, you channel where your mind wants to go and what's going to make you happy. But I think working for such a large brand, having that platform and kind of all eyes on me it doesn't intimidate me, it doesn't scare me, but it just kind of like hypes me up to a little bit more to want to like deliver a message that's going to like be informative for one. And never, by the way, never in my wildest dreams would I ever think I was going to make a video on instructing my clients how to put on their own base color But so that took a bit of swallowing for me. I'm like, okay, I understand where we are and what's going on. So we just got to make it work. But and I did, and we made it work, and it's been so fun. So, and actually today is National Hairstylist Appreciation Day.
Oh my gosh, is it really?
I know. What fun timing, right?
Yes, and oh man, do we all appreciate you guys more than ever right now. Little plug for L'Oreal. I actually used this today.
Yes,
love it. You guys, look. Oh yeah, can't even see them.
It's funny. There's a lot of thought and a lot of development, and there's a lot of jobs that went into that little pen.
I actually have had this for a while now. It helps me go longer in between coloring, and especially now it's like, oh, gotta put this little baby on before I hop on here.
So its sister with that is the Root Magic, the spray.
Oh, okay.
So that precision pen that you have in your hand is more for clients that are like 30% less or gray. That it's just like literally right here because that's
what I have. Right here.
You click it and you literally just like paint on those few pieces, because the overspray of the spray, if you don't have that many grays, it can be a little like too pigmented, we found. So yeah, the precision pen was actually like precision pen. I mean, the name kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah. I love it. It works so great, and it's so easy to use. I've never colored my own hair. I'm just terrified to do that.
Yeah.
So this helps, especially.
And it's a little like, I loved using it. Like when we first launched that product about 2 years ago, it was, they always like ask for like little hacks. And, in LA, when we're doing like red carpet stuff, like ponytails and some like sleek looks are really popular. And so I always have those, like, I don't want to say bald spots, but where their hair isn't as thick. If you just do that, it like completely changes the look of your ponytail and makes your hair look much thicker. So
there you go. There you go. A little tip, guys. There's someone here that said, "Oh, wish I could see my hairdresser." Commented on. Yes, Darcy, I know. My goodness. But yeah, so appreciated to see all these tips you guys have been putting out there, and all these videos you've been making, because it is,
they're really fun. We did a broadcast not long ago. I'm not sure if you tuned into it. It's on YouTube. It's still live. But we had like a cute little casting call, and I selected 3
clients. I saw that.
Yeah, we had like 3 clients, and it was so cute because they were so like just biting at the chomp, like, tell me more. Because I mean, when you're in quarantine, it's like what they trusted us to know and help them get, now they have to take on themselves. So it can be intimidating, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And it is nice to do your hair from time to time, especially right now, because like most of the time I don't. And then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, so this day when I act like today, I actually did my hair for you.
I love it. I always love your hair short.
My hair short. I know this is the longest it's been since like high school.
I can't really, is it at your shoulder? Oh, there it is.
Right here. Yeah.
Dude, I love it.
Thanks. Good. Oh, my mom says, hi, John. Great to see you.
Hi, Mom.
Well, my mama, you just missed it. We were talking about some of our old high school shenanigans a little while ago.
Are they still in Linden? They're not still at the same place.
She's up in San Andreas now.
Okay.
Up in the foothills.
So.
Cute. Yeah.
So many memories at that house. How fun.
What was that?
So many memories at that house.
I know. The old Linden house.
Yeah. Love it.
Crazy dogs and everything out there. Tell me what it's like working with Kylie and Kendall, and do you work on the show as well that they do?
So most of the things, like when you see them filming, actually, like when they're in their home, they get glammed like early in the morning. Chris is an early bird. Her call times are like 7 a.m. And then they film, and then they do what's called green screens, and that's kind of like what we're doing now, like the confessional, if you will.
Oh,
yeah. That's usually when we're on hand, and we'll stay with them during those. But they're great girls. They're fun. They're really fun. They're really smart. They know what they want. They'll tell you what they want. I've always had a great experience with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Awesome. Let's see. My mother-in-law, all my family's on here today. I want some tips on getting rid of sun bleached out hair right now without a salon.
Okay. So like her hair's fading?
Yeah, she said she was pretty blonde before. So she's trying to get rid of her sun bleached out hair. So what your tips would be on
Well, she probably like what we call in the salon like as a gloss. I know during this whole thing, I've kept in close contact with a lot of my clients and make sure that they don't take like drastic measures in their own hands without consulting me first. So obviously always consult your hairdresser first and ask them like, hey, I'm fading from the sun. Like, is there anything that you recommend? There are some really easy like at-home hair glosses you can put on to kind of tone everything down. Or she might even just be due for a base touch-up. I don't know if she has any kind of gray or what kind of percentage she has of gray. But I'm happy to give like a prescription of something that she might use.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you want to email me like what her situation is, I can always email you back and tell you exactly what she should use.
Okay, I will.
But I feel like it's important because I mean, when we were out in Linden, we were on well water. And even like on the ranch, we were on well water. Well water's their minerals are really harsh. So I don't know if she's on well water or city water, but
should be city. She's in Florida right now. Okay,
that's funny because one of the contestants that we talked to for the broadcast is in Florida, and she was experiencing the same thing. It's like we have a place in Malibu as well, and so out there we're on city water, but the water is still so harsh, and it's governed by two. It's not Los Angeles County; it's Malibu County, so it's governed by two different areas. And sometimes people don't know that the water can really take a toll on your hair. If that's the case, try not shampooing every day. Just every other.
Yeah, I usually do every other day. Yeah. Sometimes longer right now.
Right? Some dry shampoo, you're done.
Yeah. You're done. Dry shampoo and this little guy, and I'm good to go.
Right? Yeah, cute.
Tell me, what was it like doing Geena Davis's hair for the Oscars this year?
She honestly, like, it was definitely an aha moment or a pinch me moment. She's so sweet. It's funny because when you start working with clients, I've gotten accustomed to celebrity clients, especially. I've gotten accustomed to not carrying in to the service like what I think of them, because we definitely have an idea of who they might be, but it's very like morphed kind of idea because it's what we see on the red carpet or it's what we see in paparazzi shots or what have you. She is one of the sweetest, kindest. Like she's like a mother. I mean, she's a mother, so you definitely warm around her. She has a little wild streak to her too, which I love. She has opened up a little bit and told me some fun stories. And I'm like, wait, Geena, you did that? No. But it's funny because a lot of my clients are just do what you want, do what you think, and working with Geena, she's really, really easy. I know when I first started working with her was at Sundance Film Festival.
Oh, okay. So you've been working with her for some time.
Yeah, for a little while, for maybe 4 or 5 years.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and she was blonde then. And I remember after a few times of working with her and felt more comfortable to like have these conversations about, consulting her look and being in charge of that, I was like, Geena, you're a redhead. Like, you're a notorious redhead. This blonde isn't working. We have to get you back to red. And she was like, okay. And we did the red, and it was such a hit because it was like, that's Geena Davis, Yeah,
she looks so good.
She looks amazing. I mean, there's sometimes I'm standing around and I'm just looking at her face and being like, she's gorgeous. And like nothing, like no work, no makeup, nothing. She's just a natural beauty. She takes really good care of herself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Was it hard when you were first starting to not be super like, oh my God, starstruck? And, I mean, now you're a celebrity too. And you're, like now you're just like,
yes and no. I think when you first meet them, you're like, oh, they're normal. That's them.
Like a normal person.
Yeah, no hair, no makeup, no red carpet, no gown. So it's much easier to find a common ground with them. Yeah. I don't think I've never been one to get starstruck. I never have. Although I take it back. Sundance Film Festival, I met John Lithgow, and I thought I was going to shit myself. That was like right when The Crown was coming out, and I'm obsessed with The Crown.
Oh,
and
man.
I remember being like, Mr. Lithgow, you're amazing in The Crown. And he's just looking at me like, thank you, young man. And it was like, he is everything you think he would be when I met him. And that was probably one of the few times I got starstruck, just because he's such a wonderful method actor. Like his roles when he played Winston Churchill in The Crown was like,
oh my gosh.
And I mean, he channeled someone that was like, would be so hard to portray on screen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I watch that show too. It's so good. And yeah, he does an amazing job.
So good. And do you remember, was it Third Rock from the Sun that he was in? Remember that weird little comedy? And I mean, I remember him from that, but it was never really like, oh, he's cool. But The Crown was like next level. I mean, I'm obsessed with that show. It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. I'm on the side. I haven't finished the second season yet, but I'm
okay, I won't spoil it for you then.
Oh no, I'm in the third season when it's the older queen now.
Yeah. Which, you know, it's funny because when they got rid of Claire Foy, I was like, what? That's the queen. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I can't remember her name now. She's British. Olivia. Oh shit.
I am terrible with names.
I can't remember her name, but she did a wonderful job. Like, wonderful job. I think like at that time, like in the, you know, early 50s is when you know, Queen Elizabeth was starting to become more regal in that sense of like no expression, and she just carried herself so well. Like, and I've always been obsessed with the British monarchy. It's weird.
Yeah, no, me too. Like, we just went when Harry and oh my gosh, Meghan Markle got married. My daughter and I, we went over to my mother-in-law's house, spent the night, got up at like 3 a.m. or something and watched the wedding. It's just so fascinating.
It is fascinating because it's something that's been in place for so long and it's so respected. And you don't really ever hear, I mean, even with what Meghan and Harry went through, like you never really heard any bad commentary about them. You know, it was just a decision that they made, and that was that. And but you know, they don't really have, the Brits don't really have celebrities. Like the celebrities that we know that are British have migrated here, and that's why they're famous. So it's like the Brits have the royal family, that's their celebrities, and then we have our celebrities that we know as celebrities. So it's a different form, but it's the British monarchy and the way that they handle themselves and so stoic and so by the book, and then changing kind of like into a modern. I love it. It's such an amazing show, and I love all that stuff. Yeah,
I do too.
No.
Let's see here. Oh yes. My mother has a question. She says, since I'm already partway there with silver hair due to this interruption, can you suggest the best way to transition all the way to silver? She's going to go all silver.
For right now, I think the best thing is just let it grow. But when we go back into the salon, just have your hairdresser highlight you out. So just do like a really heavy highlight, because a lot of times, and everyone's doing it, like Jane Fonda's doing it, Christy Brinkley's doing it. Now Sharon Osbourne is all gray. It's like they're starting to like, they're over going in every 2 weeks and getting their hair done. And I mean, as a celebrity, it's like you have to stay on the top of that stuff. So they've definitely put at the forefront it being more socially acceptable for women going all white or all gray or all silver. So to answer your question, let it grow out now, because we have nothing but time. And then when you go into the salon, just have your hairdresser highlight you out. DIY highlights, no. Like, I'm not getting on board. I've already told my L'Oreal, I was like, I'll do almost everything, but showing clients how to do their own highlights at home is just something I cannot get on board with.
Yeah. I don't think, again, I've never colored my hair, so I've never tried that before either. Although I will say, a friend of mine, she was going to school to be a hairdresser, and I was her model for going through, what is it, your boards?
State board test. Oh God, what a pain.
Oh gosh. And so I was like her guinea pig even that too. And I'm pretty sure she tried to do highlights on me once.
Yeah. Thank God for that in a state board test, because I would have epically failed. But I actually I went to state board 3 times before I passed.
Really?
It was so crazy because
there you go. Never give up.
Yeah, then it was, they did the test on 2 days. So you had the written in one day and you had the practical another day. Where for years they did both on the same day. And then when I took it, I brought my friend Lisa Lavodi, and her and I have been friends for years. And she made me laugh so hard that there was times I would look at it and I'd start laughing. And I'm sure that instructor did not like that. So it was a fail for me the first time, and then the second time. And then I actually brought my mom the 3rd time.
Oh, did you?
And we passed. And then it was funny because then they switched it back, because they switched it back to where the practical and the written were both on the same day. But it was so, again, 20 years ago. I think what they made you do is if you failed, I think just like real estate, you have to go back and retake a few more hours and then note to the state you've taken those few extra hours. And there has to be a time lapse in between when you took the test and then when you retake it. So it was like, oh my God, it was painful. And I remember when I took it, I was like in tears. I was like, oh my God, finally. It's not, and it's so, the test is so old. They're having you do perms. And then I don't know if you remember, back in the day, they still do it every now and then when you do a facial. They do like the red light, blue light, white light facial that they put on. It's such a bazaar. And so you had to know like how far away the blue light had to be, and then the red light and the white light. Because one could not tell you now today like what is what anymore, but it worked. Here I am.
And here you are, 20 years later, very, very successful.
Well, thank you. It's been fun. It's been a really fun journey.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch. Were you in a commercial at one point for L'Oreal too?
Yeah, a few of them. We have a few.
That's what I thought. So I remember being like, "Oh my God, it's
John!" Yeah. They did one. They did a web-driven one first, and then they launched it on like cable. And then just recently, L'Oreal came to me and said, "We're going to take one of your commercials that I did with Eva Longoria and put it in Walmart's because our consumer lines have exploded like 400% or something like that." So they wanted to arm some of the people buying the product with the knowledge on like how to use it. So it's been fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, you can go see all of these YouTube, a bunch of YouTube videos. Yeah. Did they just go to the L'Oreal page, or I can put that in the comments too?
Yeah. There's one, I can email you the link for the one that we just did the broadcast, but all of them are actually on my Instagram or
hold on, wait, look for it below you, right? There we go.
There I am. There, and you can also go to YouTube, and if you type in my name or L'Oreal Paris commercial or Eva Longoria or something like that, they totally should pop up.
And he really does have a lot of great tips on there, so I suggest you go watch those. So because we've got another month of this, at least where we are.
I know that if you guys DM me, clients have questions, I read them all. It might take me a minute to get to all of them, but I definitely read all of them because that's where I get most of my content. It's just when clients ask questions, and sometimes it's a very normal, basic question, or sometimes a little more intricate. But regardless, I'll try to get to you and answer them the best I can.
Awesome. Let's see here. So what are your future? What do you have coming up? I know, like right now, obviously everything's kind of halted for you, but any cool projects or people you're working with coming up?
I have one really cool project in the pipelines that's too early to talk about. I know it's so stupid. I even hate saying that, but going into another year of my L'Oreal contract, so that'll be fun. Hopefully, we're going to do cans because that's at the end of the year. So I hope we do cans again, but that's another fun project that we're doing. But things are always changing. Right now, it's hard to say like this is what we're doing because we honestly don't even know. I mean, we do a really special event in New York in December called Women of Worth, and it's highlighting women that have done some amazing work, either nonprofit or with their families, and bringing awareness to a foundation or an event that close to their heart. Some of them are hunger. Some of them are homelessness. One woman that won, she was able to not reduce. I think she actually 86 tax on tampons and in like 42 states. Yeah, was able to to reduce taxes. And that's something I don't even know. I mean, obviously, why would I know that? But those are some of the foundations that they do. But one of the foundations that I found so heartwarming was Hunger. It was a 16-year-old girl, and her sister would go around to restaurants and collect food and then feed them to the homeless. And I didn't know this, but there's a lot of rules and regulations behind. Each state is different, of course, behind giving wasted food to homeless, and it's crazy because it was like they're throwing away. I mean, so much food. I don't really go into numbers, but so much food that would just make your head spin. And there's people out there starving. So her and her sister would go to restaurants, collect leftover food. And I think as long as it's a 24-hour turnaround, they were able to give it to homeless. And then eventually it moved to shelters. But Viola Davis is one of our spokespeople for L'Oreal Paris. And that hit home to her because she had suffered from starvation and hunger when she was growing up as a kid. And listening to her story of like where she came from and where she's at now, I mean, like at this event, there's not a dry eye in the room. Like,
I bet.
Not a dry eye. So that's held in December. So I mean, I hope that we still get to have that, because I feel like everyone in their life should experience a Women of Worth event, because it really does bring and shed some light to like what's happening. I mean, we have tunnel vision, so we can get into our own routine every day and not realize what's going on out there.
Yeah.
You know, even now, like,
yeah, especially right now, we really can't, like, it's so hard even going on any social media right now, because everybody's just, there's so much negativity out there, you know, and we should be all united.
I mean, there is a lot of positivity, but I think it's just the unknown. People, there's just the unknown, like there's the unemployment thing, or like you know, these companies going under, and it's like there's so many of my favorite restaurants that I really don't think are going to make it through, and it's really sad.
It's tough
to do, you know.
Yeah, like for, you know, being a theater owner, like we can't have any events right now. We don't know when we will be able to, you know.
What state are you in?
We're in Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. I don't know what it's there, but I know we just read something for California, and salons are like phase 3 of opening back up. So like phase 1 is restaurants, which is bizarre to me, because some of them are still open and can do takeout or delivery, which is amazing. And we always should support our local restaurants around us. And then phase 2, I think, is going to be more of like home goods and home stuff and like those kinds of things, still observing 6 feet of distance. And then phase 3 is salons and nail salons and all that kind of stuff. But everything's still going to have restrictions. Like,
yeah, exactly.
We're only allowed to take like one client at a time, where I'm used to taking 4 or 5 at a time. And, you know, I have a whole team of assistants, and we make it work. But it was interesting because like right before this all happened, I remember driving home one day being like, I'm just too fucking old for this. Like, how am I seeing 15 people in one day? This is insane. And I just remember thinking like, I miss the old times where it was like one-on-one, and I sat down and talked to my client while they were processing. So you know what? Be careful what you ask for, because it'll come around and get you.
Yeah. And maybe even after this, I know for me, I've kind of already, because same thing. We've been starting our own business and running our own business for a couple of years now. And we've been running ourselves ragged, you know, and because I've been homeschooling our kids and teaching voice lessons and then directing shows or being in shows or doing all these things for our business. And so I've already started to kind of let some things go and lighten the load a little bit, so that when we do come back, it's, you know, it's been nice to sit back and just have a reset. And
it really is. And I was, you know, we're trying to make sense of this whole thing. And it was, you know, driving out to Malibu, I was like, I haven't seen the ocean this blue in so long, or haven't seen the sky this blue in so long. Right. Like, look at how I'm looking at I don't know if you can see, the Hollywood sign is right there.
Oh my gosh. That's not usually that clear, right?
nor that green. So like, I'm seeing these things and I'm like, I haven't seen the mountains this in so long. So kind of happy Mother Nature put us in a big time for a moment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been, I know, like in Yosemite, animals are just coming out and roaming, and rivers in Italy are clear. So, I mean, there have been
swimming in the Venice canals. That's never, ever happened. And it's so
fish it's
crazy.
There's definitely some good coming out of
always. Yeah, always.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I have here to ask you? Every time we've had these interviews, we always ask everybody, what is your biggest piece of advice in becoming successful in your field and what you do? What's other people that are out there trying to pursue a similar passion? What would your biggest piece of advice be for them?
Wow. You know, it's funny. I get asked this question probably more often than not. And it's typically the same thing. So there's 2 parts to it. Work hard and be kind. It really is that easy. And everyone always wants like long worded, like, this is what you have to do. And when this happens, do that, do this. If you just keep in the back of your mind to just work hard and be kind, you'd be really surprised how far it'll take you. Because a bad reputation is easiest to get and the hardest to get rid of. And in my industry, the worst reputation you could ever have is being difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And that goes for across the board, hairdresser, makeup artist, even the celebrity, wardrobe stylist.
Yeah.
So it goes across the board. But, you know, I always knew I wanted to do something in beauty or fashion. I mean, you know, Sarah, I was like, I think I hit like best dressed every year in high school, not to brag, but like I always knew that there was some kind of like, you know, I didn't know if it was wardrobe or makeup or hair. And I kind of just fell into hair. I would help my grandmother style her hair all the time. And it was such a special moment for us connecting together. So I don't ever really tackle anything on, or I don't really ever present something to someone if it doesn't feel authentic, if it doesn't feel like there's a story behind it, or I'm not doing this because so-and-so says I should, or because society says I should. While things are much different now with social media, and you know, Sarah, you and I are called the Zillennials. So we were around when
I didn't know that.
We were around when MySpace was like a thing. And remember, you can put a song on MySpace and you can change it. Yeah, I wish I knew my old passcode because I would love to log into that.
Right? Oh my gosh.
It can make it so impossible now. But it's, you know, I see so many young kids wanting to start a career and having that foundation of this makes sense, and then going on social media and doing this compare and contrast with what everyone else is doing. And I know it can affect you, so just don't let it. Stick to your guns.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. And I am so not surprised that you have become so successful, because you've always been such a nice person and so much fun. And I'm sure like everybody has a blast working with you.
You know what? I always have fun. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't have the recipe for the cure to cancer, or I'm not performing brain surgery. So it's like, you know, like, why not have fun? Beauty is such a powerful thing. It's an armor. It really is an armor, like how women feel when they have their makeup on and their hair done and that outfit that is just perfect. Like that level of confidence and what it does to them. To me, sometimes that's more rewarding than the check in the bank, because just a simple thank you, or someone saying, you know, you made me feel so beautiful on my wedding day that I couldn't have gone through without you. And it's like, yeah, but I played such a simple part in it, but I didn't. And seeing people and women especially carry that armor into their life it's been the most rewarding for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And to be a part of you know, like a wedding or whatever, you know, I'm sure you were an integral part of that, and they'll always remember that, and
for sure. And it's cute, especially now. I think, I mean, we're connecting with people I haven't talked to in years. You're one of them. And remember Melissa Anderson?
Yes.
She actually reached out and was like, are you taking new clients virtually? Like, can you tell me what I should be doing for my hair? So I actually sent her a color kit, and it was really sweet to catch up with her and see how she was doing. So, you know, coming out of the woodworks. But on that note, I had a few clients send me pictures from their wedding day. And there was one client I did that it was my first wedding I ever did, and it was in Sacramento. And I'm talking like 17, 18 years ago. And it was just like, I looked at it and was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's insane. You know, the journey has been real. That's for sure.
Yeah. It seems like it's been very exciting.
It has been. I'm very grateful.
Yeah. We actually had, I don't remember, Sean and Tanya Valdez.
Yes.
Their last names are different now, but they both said hi. Oh, shoot. Oh, and Chris Tracy. Oh, gosh. I don't know how I did that. Let me take this off of here. Somebody had commented earlier, he's bald. He's like, what can you do for me?
Getting away? I don't know. Yeah. I have some great wigs back here. If you want, I can.
Oh, there you go. There's your answer, Chris.
Yeah.
Wig it up. Oh my goodness. And it's so funny that your biggest piece of advice, kind of going back to that, was to just work hard and be kind, because seriously, every single person we have asked that question to on these interviews has said the exact same thing. Like, don't be a jerk, be kind, be a nice person, be nice to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, the thing is, I would be lying to say that this career has not been challenging. It has not tested my patience, because it really has. But you know, I'm not a dweller. When I see an issue, I try to address it right away and make sure that it doesn't happen again and learn from it. And it's literally, that's pretty much a life lesson too, I think. You know what I mean? Life is challenging, and sometimes it can really suck. So
Yeah, well, especially when you're working towards a goal, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. It's not always going to be roses and
absolutely no. And if it is, then like I don't know what kind of like, but like send me some. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, thanks so much for being on here today.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun. So special.
Yeah. And please, you guys, make sure you check out. I'm going to put it up here one more time here. You can follow John on Instagram. Oh, that's his website. You check out, and actually was going through this earlier. You can look at a lot of the work that he's done, covers of magazines. I used to watch Vampire Diaries. So I was like, oh my gosh. You did.
What's his name? I'm so sorry. I forget.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm telling you, I'm terrible with names. So let me. What was it?
He's blonde. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Oh my gosh. Hopefully his name will be on here. Hold on. Vampire Diary fans, type it in below.
Sorry. Yeah, let us know.
Anyway, the one of the nice brother, right? Stefan. His name was Stefan in the show. But
okay. All right.
Paul Wesley. There we
go. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
So
this is John's website here, and then you can also, of course, follow him on Instagram. He said if you want to DM him, ask him questions, he will check those. And
feel free. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much again for being here today.
Send you and your family some love. Okay. I miss you guys.
Miss you too. Bye, Facebook land.
Bye, guys.